This industry is going to boom in the future. I'm talking about the coaching industry. I'm Ruth Kudzi, the founder of Ruth Kudzi Coaching. I transformed my life and my business, and I'm passionate about helping others do the same. So already the industry is growing year on year. And 2020 was no different, and 2021 will be no different too. So why is it growing? Put simply, it's because it works. So coaching started a bit over 25 years ago as an intervention. And it was because people in corporations were looking at a way to get their employees to perform better. And it started off with a lot of executive coaching, coaching the people at the top, giving them a sounding board. And then it has grown in popularity. The people at the top have experienced great coaching, then they want their teams to be coached. So you can see why it is increasing in popularity in the corporate space. Given the past year, there is even more demand for coaching in corporates. Coaching to reintegrate teams and get teams to work better together. Coaching to help individuals perform. Coaching to help people integrate working from home into their normal working week. There's coaching to help lots and lots of people in corporates, from people returning from maternity leave, because organisations don't want to lose their top talent. And we know the gender pay gap is getting bigger in the UK and the US. So what do corporations do? They get in coaches. They get in coaches to work with their top talent. They get in coaches to work with their emerging leaders. They get in coaches to work with people when it isn't working. Because you have an external coach, it means that the level of trust is higher. So that means that people, because the space is completely confidential, are going to talk about what's really going on for them. And they're going to be able to get clarity and move for that, rather than speaking to a manager who's always going to be putting what they think onto their employee. So it helps people to perform better at all levels in an organisation. And that is why we've seen an explosion in executive coaches, leadership coaches, confidence coaches, and in coaching being delivered as a skill set in corporates. People are going in and training people in coaching skills. It's always been seen as one of the most desirable skills as managers. And when I was training to be a head teacher, we actually looked at different leadership and management styles, and coaching was seen as the most effective style. The head teachers that had the highest performing schools were more likely to have a coaching approach to their leadership. They were more likely to do informal coaching with team members and actually spend more time in classrooms and with leaders, helping them to develop their skills through coaching. We know that the coaching analogy has been used in sports for years and years and years, and this is coming to be more mainstream. So I've talked about businesses, I've talked about why most corporates, most FTSE 100 companies will have some kind of coaching program. Actually, I would imagine all of them do. And smaller organisations. So in some research done around 5 years ago, the ICF found that about 22% of business owners, and that was from 1 to 250 employees, had a coach. But of those people, they were in the top 18% of performance, their businesses were, regardless of the sector. Now, obviously, there were going to be differentials there, but you can see those of people that tend to have a coach tend to perform better. And there may be many reasons for that. It may be that they're putting their own development first. It may be that they're prioritizing business development and working on their business as well as working in the business. But the stats are pretty clear. But if we know that, now more and more business owners are getting coaching for themselves and for their teams. They're seeing the benefits both in their performance and in their mindset. Coaching is effective because it helps performance. It also helps reduce things like absenteeism. It helps retain great staff. It's seen as something that is expected in the corporate world, and small business and entrepreneurship is following close behind. As an entrepreneur, you're often working on your own. So having a coach enables you to really kind of work through your blocks and get clarity on where you're going and really have that motivation to get there. So that's about business-wise. But also career coaching is taking off. It may be that you're not sure where you want to go next in terms of your career, or maybe you've been made redundant. So career coaching is also growing. People are now looking at actually having careers that give them a purpose, that are aligned to their values, and they want to look internally to make sure they're making the right choices. Why else is coaching growing? Well, people are now wanting to live lives that are more aligned. The personal development world is growing. Personal development is becoming more mainstream. 20, 30 years ago, you wouldn't talk about your feelings. Now it's becoming more commonplace too. And so having a coach is something that people go to when maybe they want to work on their relationships, or they want to work on aspects of their life, or they want to be happier. People are starting to realize that coaching can help them transform the way they think, transform the way they feel about themselves, transform what they do. And they realize that it's an inside-out job, that if they don't work on their beliefs and their neural pathways, they don't reprogram these by working with a coach or similar, they're not going to move forward. So because people are seeing the results of coaching, there has been a massive transformation in the industry, and accreditation is becoming more and more important. People are starting to see that anyone can call themselves a coach, but actually if people want to have that coaching skill, they're looking for people who are properly and professionally trained and accredited. They're looking to have those really meaningful conversations so the client can learn about themselves and the coach can actually help them transform. The coaching industry is set to hit over $60 billion in the mid-2025. This is a massive growth industry, both for individuals and for businesses. It's something that I think that we're going to be seeing becoming more and more mainstream. And you can already see that coaching and coaching approaches are becoming the dominant leadership approach in corporates. They're becoming part of leadership training programs. It's being taught in universities and schools across the world. Having a coaching approach is what great leaders are encouraged to do because it helps develop their staff. Everybody wants their staff to perform better. Every company wants to be more efficient. And if you can get your staff to be happy, to perform better, they're more productive. And so you make more money. Let's talk about the bottom line. Everybody wants to be happier, healthier, richer, whatever that may be. Maybe it's not all three, maybe it's a combination. And coaching can help you become all three of those. You have to do the work, and this is why it's growing. As we become more attuned to who we are and our personal development, then the personal development world has grown. Things have become mainstream. You open up any magazine and there'll always be something around personal development. You look in the newspapers and they have articles. The mainstream TV is also talking about this because people want to grow. People want to be happier. People want to do better in their careers and at work. And coaching is a tool that is going to help you get there. So as I said before, if you are a professionally accredited and qualified coach, then you have the ability to work with people from all different backgrounds and help them transform how they think, how they feel, and how they act. There is no better industry to be in. And the great thing about coaching is that it can be done online. It is effectively a conversation, which means it's opening the door to people being able to be coached all over the world. We know as the population is growing that there are more people online in every country, and therefore there are so many opportunities for coaches. There's opportunities not only for developing really successful commercial practices, there's also opportunities for working with charities and third sectors and education providers in delivering coaching to people who maybe couldn't access it otherwise. The industry is not even at its highest peak yet. I would imagine it's going to continue to grow till about 2050, maybe longer, because it is becoming this obsession with how we think, this obsession with how we want to be happier, really comes from the change in paradigm in psychology, which happened in the mid-90s with the introduction of positive psychology. And that was when they went away from saying that people had things wrong with them that we needed to treat, to looking at what was right, what was good, and building on that, looking at happiness and resilience and gratitude. Now, this is another reason the way that we think, the global paradigm has changed, and people are wanting to focus more on themselves and how they can be better. And that means that coaching is going to accelerate. And the fact that now we have this technology that means that we can be on Zoom with somebody, on the other side of the world, that we can have coffee dates with people virtually, that we can go into someone's innermost thoughts over the internet. That means that coaching is only going to explode even faster. In countries that maybe wouldn't have heard of coaching, young people are on social media. They're seeing coaches, they're following coaches. They're starting to think about, okay, how could this help me? How could it help me build my career, my business? How could it help me live a richer life? So I can't see this acceleration of the industry slowing down. The combination of self-awareness, the combination of people wanting to better themselves, combined with the onset and the development and growth of the online world, mean that the coaching industry is set to grow and grow and grow. So our next video is coming up over here, but remember, before you watch that, remember to subscribe, like, and give me a comment if you've got any questions.